Natural Resources Committee.
Okay.
Your role there and your new leadership role. Talk to us a little bit about that, and then talk to us about the goals of the committee as you see it. Some of the things that you're going to get into. What are the top priorities for the committee writ large, and then perhaps for the subcommittee too?
Well, the Natural Resources Committee has broad jurisdiction over a lot of issues. It does have jurisdiction over energy issues. So, for instance, the Outer Continental Shelf drilling offshore, public lands. There's a lot of oil and gas activity, in the Rocky States, all over the country that we deal with that are not on private lands. So we will still be working on those issues. We've had hearings on everything from hydraulic fracturing, which I know is a big issue right now, particularly with our producers who are finding so much gas. We need to frack to get this natural gas. So that's one piece of it. There's also many other aspects of the committee. We do parks. I'm the new ranking member on the Indian Affairs Subcommittee. And there may be a little energy interplay there, but it's a new role for me, and for Oklahoma, I think it's a net positive. We've had a lot of tribes from across the country come and meet with us, particularly this week with the National Congress of American Indians in Washington.
Your standpoint, what do you think will get done this Congress, either from the Natural Resources Committee vantage point or from your caucus standpoint, on natural gas legislation? Do you think something can be achievable?
I do. In the last couple of Congresses, I've introduced the Nat Gas Act along with some other co-sponsors, Democrats and Republicans, which would basically take this new supply that we have and we would convert cars to natural gas, to run on natural gas, give incentives for the manufacturer of natural gas vehicles, give incentives to provide fill units at your house. All along the way, and also take these large heavy-duty trucks, convert them. I think that's the starting point for where we are. There has not been a bill introduced. I would imagine over the next few weeks there will be a bill introduced. I've been working with John Sullivan from Oklahoma, and I would imagine that this will be an effort that will be led by Republicans, but with Democrats like me in supporting roles to get it through the House, and then we'll have a Senate companion as well, I would imagine.
See a bigger bill, more targeted bills. Last year we kind of got caught up in a big comprehensive thing. We're going to see more rifle shots in this Congress?
I hope so. I think it's a lot better because once you start getting into these massive issues, like cap and trade obviously was a big issue in the last Congress, which has no future, and thankfully it's not going anywhere. But there's, if you start touching in wind and solar, and what are we going to do on nuclear and coal and all the other things, I think it becomes difficult because then you start everyone starts fighting amongst themselves. I think it'd be better to do some rifle shots like the Nat Gas Act. On the tax side, you always hear from producers about the intangible drilling costs and depletion allowance issue, whether or not that's going to be part of a tax package where that gets stripped. I don't believe we're in danger right now of that being taken away from producers, but we always need to be watchful. That's always discussed. It's always in President Obama's budget as a way to make up some of the revenue shortfalls. So we need to keep an eye on it. I am most worried in this Congress about the EPA. The EPA going in and regulating hydraulic fracturing and doing some other things that will have a chilling effect on our independent producers.
If President Obama called you this week and asked your opinion on what you should do on energy legislation and policy, what would you tell him?
I think the single most important piece of legislation is to pass the Nat Gas Act. To me, it's cleaner, it's cheaper, it's domestic. There's no reason, I see no downside to this, to converting all of our transportation, or at least a significant portion, over to natural gas. And we're still going to need oil. We're going to need both. This is not an either-or situation. I think we're going to need oil and gas. And then we can, at some point, if there's a green technology that we can get to in 30 or 40 years, we have that transition. But if we're still so dependent on these foreign countries who don't like us, in fact want to kill us in some instances, we're in a real tough situation. And I just don't see it. In fact, when he was a candidate, then Senator Obama, I posed these same questions to him, and I talked about the taxes that he was talking about putting on domestic energy, not the Middle East. And I still don't feel like he has a grasp on the issues. I really don't. I think he doesn't have the background and the knowledge and the people that are surrounding him that are giving him the proper advice. The Energy Secretary is a nice fellow, but we need somebody who is from the energy industry. They don't have to be the CEO of an oil company, but at least have some grasp of the situation that we're facing.